Hey everyone, this is TCG. Here showing up the new set that I've been working on. I'm just going to review a couple of new details about it, some things that you guys will be excited for, and I'll also explain the new Mastermind Gamemode that I've been publishing recently. So let's just jump into it. First of all, we have updated card frames. The attack, HP, and card type have been shrunk down to the bottom to take up less space. You can see here on Direwolf Pack a new card, just as a 300/300 beast with Predator and Stealth. As you can see, the 300/300 and the beast type are at the bottom line there. I didn't think that the attack and HP needed to be as big as they were before. Here's a picture of another card just to kind of compare the two. I much like this new format more. I know it feels like I changed the frames each new set, but this is a pretty minor change, and it's nothing really fundamental to how the card reads. It's in the same place that it always is in, it's just a little bit smaller. And now we're going to get into the new set that I've been talking about. I suppose it's set 5 now, but I'm not calling it set 5, I'm just going to call it a core set. So, throughout Spellslingers, I've created multiple cards on Untap that were never actually physically printed. And this set is going to mitigate some of that by taking some cards that were online only and finally physically printing them. I'll be finally printing cards like Eldritch Discovery and new artwork for Demonic Contract that's been online forever. Those two cards you'll finally be able to get your hands on. But I'm also going to be printing new cards, don't you worry, it's not just reprints. The main thing that I'm excited about, and the thing that I'll talk about in this video, is Blue Abyss is back with some more support. With a lot of these new cards, Blue Abyss decks will have a lot more variety than just playing Umber Squid, Spell Ray, and Shaquille O'Neal, just kind of juggle your opponent's stuff. Now you have some more outs with cards like Blue Abyss Red Star, a Vanguard card that allows you to search up any Blue Abyss card, Herald of the Blue Abyss, which may not be a fish herself, but gets stronger the more Blue Abyss cards you reveal while she's on the field, and my personal favorite, Blue Abyss Cameroon, which you can discard if you reveal it from your hand to draw more cards, and when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to draw even more cards once per game. So, once again, Blue Abyss is becoming a lot more combo-oriented. And I know that was a complaint last time, that Blue Abyss kind of felt a little round, and I agree. So I've added a couple new cards to spice up Blue Abyss a bit more. You also might have noticed this when I was showing off Demonic Contract earlier, but there is a new rarity. The super rare card is going to be in between the rare card and the magical rarity. So it will go common, rare, super rare, magical rare. There will be 2 super rares per element in each set, in contrast to there only being 1 magical of each element in each set. So, again, they'll be more rare than rares, but not as rare as magical rares. I feel like I've said that before. Maybe I'm just repeating myself. Some more news for you. Finally, upon popular request, we will be adding neutral unit cards. These cards can be used in any deck, and will be available starting on this set onward. This is a mechanic that I'm not planning on dropping. I don't know why I didn't do it before, but here's a couple examples for you. Wall of Runes is just a basic wall card. A Wall of Runes can't attack. Vanguard, when it enters the battlefield, you may draw a card for 1 of anything. It's a fantastic card, especially if you're a slower deck and you want to kind of stall for time if you have a more controlling matchup. Wall of Runes is great. Another great card, Sneak Sheep. Now, it may say it's a 200/200 construct, but it is anything but. While Sneak Sheep is on the battlefield in your spellbook or in your hand, it has every unit type. So, it is a goblin, it is an elf, it is a bird, it is a beast, it's a pirate, it's a warrior, it's everything. So, we've been playing with this, and this card is a lot of fun. You can find some fun exploits. One example that I could think of is Morrowind. So you play Morrowind, turn 1, and then on turn 2 you play Sneak Sheep. Sneak Sheep is an elf card, so you create a bird. And Sneak Sheep is also a bird card, so it gains Morrowind buffs. So stuff like that. Sneak Sheep will become a great combo piece in the future. And finally, a fantastic discard card that falls in this kind of same category is Patience in Glister Castle, a legendary flying. You can only have 1 of her. 2/2 for 2. Whenever Patience in Glister Castle is discarded from your hand or spellbook, you may summon it. without paying its mana cost. If this is in your opening hand, you could choose to draw a card instead of playing a Mana Stone and discard down to hand size, discarding Patience and Glister Castle, and play her for free. It's a fun combo. Back on track with some visual reworkings in the game. All multi-elemental cards will now have a bronze card frame. Here's Field of Flowers as an example, with the elemental type going in the bottom left. So some previous multi-elemental cards had some pretty ugly frames. There was just some color combinations that did not look particularly great. If you held old multi-elemental cards in your hand, sometimes it would look like it was one element and not the other when you would fan the cards. So now, with all of them being bronze, you can clearly tell which ones are multicolored and which ones are not. So here's Field of Flowers. It's a air and water drill, as you can see. In the left corner, you can see the yellow sun and the blue water drop. This card's great. You can pay an air and a water. Return target unit you control to its owner's hand. And you can do that whenever. That's what that white lightning bolt means. It's snap speed. So you can flicker your stuff in and out of existence. If someone wants to blow up something you own, you can just Field of Flowers it out of there. Another great example, it's going to go through a couple of these, is Lady Summer Faireth and Grave Fire Dragon. Excited for that one. And the biggest news of all, the one that you're probably the most confused about, there is a new series of decks that are going to be produced. There's going to be 5 new decks coming out. That will be focused on a multiplayer style of play. It's a new Mastermind Gamemode that's been created specifically with these decks in mind. Allows you to build your deck around a single card, creating more fast-paced battlecruiser games. So in Mastermind, you pick a legendary card that is your mastermind, or a legendary unit, I should say, that is your mastermind. And they exist outside the game, and you can play them as if they were from your hand. And if they ever die, they just go back to their little zone, and you can play them again later. So here's a couple examples of some new cards from these decks. You'll see a battle video with these cards pretty soon. Arin, Sensei of Steel, Cabinet of Faces, Ambrose of Race, and Professor Kira. Along with, you know what, I'll throw in Willow and Helican as well. So these are all 3 element cards, which I hopefully will provoke some creativity in deck building. And all of them have very unique abilities that by themselves probably won't do a whole lot. So I highly recommend you build a deck and kind of brew up some fun answers around these cards and come up with some great combos to exploit them. These cards, as a heads up, if you think these cards are a little bit strong, they are. They're designed for multiplayer games, so their power level is going to be a little bit above normal. However, they will not be allowed in standard games. So if I ever hold another tournament, or if you and your friend are like, hey, let's just play a standard game, these cards will not be allowed. They're for Mastermind only. And I suppose Classic games too, but I don't think they'll show up there, just because in Classic you can Fireball kill someone on turn 2. Anyway, that's all the news that I have for right now. The next video should be me showing off these new Mastermind cards. I have no idea when the core set is going to be released, but currently it's about 80% finished. We're just kind of rounding out the last couple cards, filling in a couple commons. I'll make a video whenever the core set arrives through the mail. And also coming up pretty soon are a couple deck openings of new starter decks for new players to the game, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll chat with you guys later.